what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it.
Speaking of LSU, we all know they are on a bye week, but this is an opportunity for them to get healthy. First bye week, you don't do that. First bye week, it's early. You still want to go out there, have a physical nature to your practice, and make sure you're not taking your foot off the throttle too much. Now, in this second bye week, I do feel like it's going to be important for LSU to get healthy. I mean, Tay, I know Dellinger is somebody, he's got the high ankle. I know he's a big guy. So, typically a high ankle, like a skill player, it's like, he's out. He's out. But with being a lineman, maybe there's, some potential. Did Brian Kelly mention that yesterday? Or 2 days? What's
he
today?
didn't
2 days
mention,
ago.
timetable, but he said, we're going to get him back on the field as soon as we can, work through it, see where he is pain tolerance-wise. That's got to be a good sign going into a bye week because you got 10 days, you don't have 4, so I mean, it seems like he's trending in the right direction. And, he wasn't too concerned with it. Like, people asked him, if Paul Mabinga's going to step up. He goes, Mabinga looked good, and, but he went right back to Garrett.
He did pass protect really well.
Yeah, and he went back to Garrett Dellinger, though, pretty quickly. So, he seemed like he was confident that he was going to play.
And it's funny, I know somebody's in their car right now just rolled their eyes when I said he pass protected well because they're like, yeah, okay, we know that. We want them to run block. Well, a couple of other injuries that I'm thinking about here in this time, Kaden Durham. Kaden Durham's not been more than 80% in weeks. Now, sometimes we forget that because he's out there. He's too gritty to be pretty, and he's playing. But all our baseball fans will know this and know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, he wears the rubber shield on the end of his cleat, just like a pitcher does, right? So he doesn't wear it out and it drags on the dirt. He wears that because he's got some issues. He's got, foot, I believe it's toe issues.
His toes are dislocated or something.
I think look, balance for a running back, that's crucial. So hopefully Kaden Durham, I'm sure he has been really light at practice this week, getting him back to close to 100%. Because even though there's a lot in the run game right now that we could sit here, we could break down, think of South Carolina when Kaden Durham did it by himself for a lot of it, right? We always talk about you get what the offensive line blocks, but, man, you got to get that extra. It is on you. They block 3, you got to get 6, and he can do that. He takes games over. Got to get that guy healthy, and I think one of the most important players to get healthy on this team is C.J. Daniels. He's different than every other receiver. He's the most aggressive coming back to the football, and I think he's got the strongest hands.
Well, and what were we talking about the other day? Like, you don't have a ton of underneath stuff in this offense. It's a lot down the field. When you've thrown the short passes, it's kind of been C.J. Daniels and Mason Taylor. Like, he just, like you mentioned, he adds another element to this offense that the other guys just don't bring. And, he's long, he's physical. That is the guy I was going to bring up if you did not bring him up. C.J. Daniels, 100%. The offense is just different when he's in there.
There's no question about it. And when he came out like this last week against A&M, like there was like a group of coaches that they were sitting there talking. So he runs out to go warm up to see if he can go. And every coach stopped their conversation and went down to where he was warming up to see if he could go. That spoke loudly to me. Like, I already had my own assessment of it, but when I saw the way that it happened, like coaches talking, shooting the bull, he comes out immediately, like without even saying anything, they all go down to see him work out. And he only went, I think, 11 plays, if I charted that correctly. He gave it a go. You know why. You know the stage. Now with the bye week, that's somebody you have to get healthy. He's different for you.
Well, and we always talk about how good LSU receivers are, and I don't think this year's any different. Thing is, though, you're not quite as deep this year as you were in years past, right? Like, you don't have 2 stud first-round receivers with a lot of quality depth behind them. I mean, you got Lacey, you got Daniels, you got Aaron Anderson, and Xavion Thomas. Chris Hilton kind of still working back into the fold. it's really those 5 guys. I mean, you had Kyle Parker. He's out for the year with an injury. I mean, you've seen Shelton Sampson in there at times, and he still looks really raw. Outside of that, I mean, outside of your first 5 guys and then 6 if you include Mason Taylor, you don't have a ton behind them. I mean, you're 1 or 2 injuries away from really kind of being in a bad spot and having to throw a guy in there before he's ready. So, I mean, not just C.J. Daniels. The health of any of the wide receivers is important right now.
Yeah, and O'Daniger on the chat makes a good point. I agree with it. Nuss is more comfortable with C.J. on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's got 2 safety blankets.
Him and Mason.
I think it's him and Mason.
Yeah.
And I think you can tell that.
Yeah. So we were, so Hanny and Richard Dixon, they do a podcast every Monday where they break down film of each game. And
Say Dick Dixon.
He's really good at it. And I produce it. So, like, it seems like C.J. Daniels is just always open.
Yeah.
And there was one play, I think it was when Nuss threw the pick. No, he tried to throw it to Chris Hilton, and that was when he jumped a little early, and it was incomplete. And C.J. Daniels was, like, wide open, and he even, like, threw his hands up like, oh, I thought it was coming to me. Because he looked at him, but he just didn't go for it. He wanted to put the nail in the coffin, and it just didn't work out.
And that might have done it, too.
Yeah.
That might have done it. That might have been the one that put it too far out of reach, and we all know how it played out.
Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.